I was brought into the organisation development team in December 2020, and a lovely team, all committed to making BWC the best place to work. And I think they just asked, how could I be of use? And it was just like, oh, let's just think of staff wellbeing. And I know groups have so much therapeutic value to them. And so I really just thought about staff groups, so we had support groups for, general staff that just wanted to drop in, with a support group for staff who experienced long COVID. We had a support group for shielding staff as well. And then, the power of just everybody sharing with it, and the B2B spirit just really coming out. It was almost like this flame that just lit up. It was almost like, oh, wow, all these people that are just desperate to get into work to help their colleagues and just to, get back to their roles and help children and families. It was just inspiring.
And so I thought I'd join and see what it was about. And it was a group of people who all were so passionate about the Children's Hospital, the Women's Hospital, FTB, who all wanted to be back at work, who were proud of what they did, and who all felt they needed the support that we hadn't had up till then. And at that point, it just kind of exploded. The word that comes to mind about the pandemic is isolating. And it was a hugely confusing time, because I had gone from having a very busy job to doing work from home and finding it extremely isolating. We didn't have an awful lot of contact from the teams, and I felt very guilty, and I know a lot of the other shielders felt very guilty that we were at home and other staff were still at the hospital working. It got to the point where I actually sent a hamper in for my colleagues to show how much I valued what they were doing. But the best word I can describe how we felt about the pandemic is isolating. It was a very lonely experience.
And I guess we're sitting here today thinking of the BWC spirit, and there's really something about the spirit of staff that were shielding, that actually, although you weren't physically present on site, your hearts and minds were truly there.
And that's truer than anybody knows.
I think what stood out for me, that experiences when you experience them in isolation, you experience all sorts of emotions. And what was powerful in all of you coming together was the sharing of those stories of what it felt like to be a member of BWC with your hearts and minds still at work in the midst of a pandemic, concern for colleagues, concern for patients, concern also for yourselves as well.
That we've all come together from completely different areas with completely different experiences and formed friendships and networks that are going to go on for a long time. And so from a very, very dark place where I really couldn't see any of the BWC values or spirit coming through, I've gone to a place where everybody who I interact with in the group demonstrates those values and demonstrates just how important they are and how people can go above and beyond and help everybody out. And that's been fantastic.
What really came out for me is that the why that you do the jobs that you do. There wasn't a time when actually I didn't hear any one of you talk about we're away from work. It was always a sense of, we miss our teams, we miss our work, and actually we want to do our roles. And I think I was really privileged to hear all of your stories, because there've been ups and downs for each and every one of you. And I wasn't a shielding member of staff, and I can't imagine what that was like. But I know you said you found the group really powerful and really helpful. And I've shared this with the group as well. I think I learned so much from you guys, things that, maybe I took for granted in not hearing. hearing of those stories that you all shared. So I was grateful for the stories that you all shared, because I know it takes guts and courage to really share what it was like to be at home, concerned for your own health, your family, your colleagues and patients, and just, yeah, everything else that was going on.